Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Tryhard Tuesdays where we learn to try a little bit harder in the world of Dota 2. I am your host, the Grand Wazoo. Without my co-host, Mr. Blue today, I was left in an unfortunate situation because he's like currently stranded at a Toyota dealership or somewhere and like in the snow. Sounds like a terrible Christmas special or something.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Like, yeah, it doesn't sound good. So he's not able to make it, unfortunately. But we will carry him in spirit. And unfortunately, I had to grab
I can do Blue. I can be Blue.
Yeah,
in this
you
episode.
can, more or less.
I would love to hear your Blue impersonation.
I had to grab two nobodies that I haven't really worked with.
I'll channel
and
my
that's
inner
Cyphus
ginger.
and Roland. Welcome guys. Welcome as guest co-hosts to the Tryhard Tuesday show once more.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Aren't I just like a permanent fixture by now, dude?
No, you're someone we like tolerate.
Thank you for having me. I'm just joking. It's always a pleasure.
You know
to
how
try
like
harder.
Lebowski's children in the Big Lebowski, where he's standing with all those kids.
Yeah, I do.
And like they award them medals and stuff to increase their self-esteem. That's like what we are to Roland.
I do get medals, and they're
Let's
like,
get
"You
him a
did a
Tryhard
good
certificate."
job."
Yeah,
And I'm
we're
like,
just trying to keep you on the right path.
Thanks,
keep you off
guys.
the streets.
Thanks, guys.
Dove under tower 10 times or less in a single match.
Some of these dives, it's just like watching a school bus crash into the side of a building.
Oh,
You're just
dude.
like, Roland, no. Like, it was bad like 10 seconds ago.
dude, Cyphus thinks I'm not bullshitting you. Cyphus thinks that I'm maybe a better safe laner than you.
I think your AM might be stronger.
Yeah.
That's that. I
Not
will
a
say
good late
that.
game carry. I need to move because I've grown stale in my play. I need to move positions and not fixate.
Your Spectre is off the hook.
It's off the chisane,
it's
dude.
good.
It's off the haunt, is what it is, dude.
Okay.
It's pretty good, and I like
Of course, I fall in love.
I think your biggest issue, but he's playing Spectre, and like as we're gonna get into later,
Yeah.
like
We'll talk about it.
yeah,
It's
you'll
always
see.
interesting when I do a show with you guys. I always get advice I never asked for. So,
Before we go on and get all analytical and bullshit and all that bullshit, will you just impersonate Blue, please? It's
just like he's here in spirit.
yeah, just like he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
Can I have a conversation with Blue real quick?
Hey,
what's up, Blue?
I was thinking about doing it like as an intro, but I'm not going to do it because it's not to the level yet, and I kind of want.
No, it's to the
I
level.
want to do it with him on the show.
No, you got to
Yeah.
do it with us, dude, so he can hear
yeah,
it.
yeah,
he's
you do
here.
have to do
Yeah.
it with us, yeah.
So I'm gonna say what's up to Blue. Hey, Blue, what's up? How you doing, dude?
Guy, how's it going, guys? Hi.
So Blue, I don't know. I've been struggling lately with my play.
Well, you gotta punch him more. You gotta get up there and you gotta make sure that you're not feeding and you dive too much.
I was chasing this guy, dude, and I didn't know what was the action that I should take. Like I was chasing him.
Well, Roland, you gotta look at the game like I don't know.
I thought you would say you
yeah,
punch
you
him,
gotta
you
have a
punch
good
him,
analogy.
you punch him,
Yeah,
you punch him.
He always has
punch
the best
it.
advice, and these are done, of course, in the utmost love for my.
No, they are.
Dude, I love
my
playing
working
with,
partner.
I love playing with
Me
Blue.
too.
Me too.
And we all have great win
Hey,
rates with Blue.
I love playing with Blue. Look at my win rate with
Yeah, I
Blue.
know you do.
70%.
and my impressions, I've got them of Roland. I've got some of Cyphus, but my Cyphus sounds like a mix between Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson or
hey,
something.
Cyphus, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
Are we all the same?
No,
I got too mixed up.
He got mixed up.
I
yeah.
almost did.
It's like
Okay, so Tryhards obviously isn't trying very hard this week, but
why should we?
I'm no Jimmy Kimmel or whatever. This isn't
Is
Jimmy
Kimmel a great impressionist?
No,
don't
I
think
mean
he is.
like I guess like in terms of show hosts, I guess I don't know.
He is good. He is like the best for sure.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Apparently,
Kimmel?
he just
Jimmy
can't do
Kimmel.
it on cue.
Oh.
Or no, I thought you were talking about Wazoo.
No,
With
no.
you, it has to come from a place of anger when I'm like, I want to hang out with you, but you're with your
Okay.
girlfriend,
Sure.
and then I'll like
Sure.
do the conversation of like you asking to go, but she says no. You
Yeah.
know.
What do you say? Well, what do I say whenever you ask me if I can come over, but I can't because I'm with my girlfriend?
Can I ask you a question?
You're gonna play Dota in for the night.
Can I ask you a semi-personal question, Cyphus?
I guess.
Do you feel like, and I mean this in the best way, but do you feel like maybe she has the pants on? You know what I mean? I'm gonna use that analogy.
Women can wear pants,
sure,
Roland.
yeah.
It's
Do you feel like she
2016.
has the pants on?
2016.
No,
And
I feel like we're equals.
You feel like you're equals?
Yeah.
So
Is
you're
that why
both-
she gets to decide? You know what
Would
I
you
mean?
say you're both
mean it-
you're both in one leg each of the pants?
Yeah. Are
She
you
hates-
just sharing the pants? Is
She
that what's
hates it
happening?
because I frequently say I'll let, like I was about to say, you mean I let her decide, but she doesn't like me to say I let her do anything. Like,
Oh, because she does it on her own will. Okay.
because like we'll be leaving a party and I'll be like, hey, I'll let you drive if you want. And she'll go, "You mean, are you trying to ask me if I want to drive?"
It's a new world, man.
I would roll his eyes into back of the head and then has a seizure, dude.
Yeah, I don't mean it that way. That's probably not the best.
And then
word.
you go and
Word
you go and
example,
open
but-
the door, the side door, and you're just like, eh. And she's like, maybe I do want to drive, and you're just like, what?
Oh, dude, I don't. You don't mean it like that though. When you
No,
say
it's
I'll
not how I
let
meant it.
you drive. It's not like I am giving the permission to you,
No.
woman, to drive me home. You know, like
No, but all right, I will.
it's not like
in
that.
the same way. I mean, and she loves that you do this, but like in the same way that like you have made it like your goal to replace the word raped, which is frequently used by
It's
gamers.
wreck. We don't say rape.
You
we
know.
say wreck.
Wrecked.
You don't say rape. You say
R-
wrecked.
R-E-K-T.
I like that you're doing that. Like, and she's she's just trying to correct like that is communication impacts our like perspective so much that
I want Wazoo to hear this. Yesterday, I
think-
said on
can
the
I
show.
add one more to this point. Just this, we rarely hit this kind of topic on my show, so I don't know. I just want to get my point in. We're in a different place of communication, and depending upon what you study, is like kind of like what you want to be treated as. And I think her field of like anthropology and stuff has really influenced her thinking and
Well,
how she
definitely.
wants
She's
to be talked
progressive.
to.
She is progressive for this time.
But progressive,
probably
progressive in a scientific way, I'd say. She wants you to
Culturally,
be like, she takes literally what you say.
Well,
in ways,
what
which
she
shouldn't.
wants me to think about how my language like might impact others who don't know me. Which is fair.
You don't never need to see them. Stay here with us in the studio.
But
What were you going to say? I want to
But
keep trucking. guys.
I know.
We're almost
We're gonna
taking-
keep trucking. I'm gonna go off the
Keep
rails
trucking.
for a second.
This isn't your Monday show. Which is like
I
an
know.
idiocracy.
It is
like, fight
idiocracy.
fest.
We just
Oh,
we
it's
just
bad.
blah 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 blah
This isn't
blah.
idiocracy. This is the West Wing.
What I was gonna say is everybody was like, "Oh my god, I heard that The Revenant was so bad because Leonardo DiCaprio gets raped by a bear," and it's like, no, rape or wrecked, not rape. Like, and wouldn't you
That's a
agree with me
hashtag,
that
dude.
he did get fucking wrecked by the bear, not raped? He didn't get raped, guys. He got
Of course, the
wrecked
assumption was that
by
he
the bear.
literally got raped.
No,
I
no,
think
he just
that-
got
that-
wrecked.
I know. It was
Maybe
a
we could do a
shitty
special
online
episode
rumor.
because your use of language has inspired me to also change some certain dialects, and that is that I'm going to change certain words I say, because like I think you grow up in a certain time and you feel like words they don't change, but they do, they're
Well, and
malleable
even if
thing.
that's not the intent behind them, it's just one of those things where it's like if you're
better not.
if
Yeah.
well or
Just
if
like
you're
the-
a stranger, if you interact with a stranger and say something like that, like I'm sure you always speak differently with your friends. I know the three of us, and it's evident when we're on a show together. Even we speak differently when it's just the three of us. We've known each other for a long goddamn time.
we say anything we want to. Is the
And I can
difference.
ask
Yeah,
you,
with no filter, completely unfiltered. But when you're out with society, it is important to filter your communication. It is important to think about how
we have good
or in a
ones.
game of Dota, because I consider that being out in public in a lot of which
should be.
might sound weird,
Yeah.
but I hold myself to the same standard as if I was like going somewhere for a service.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to act out too much. Sometimes I do. Like I don't know, I had some crazy days in the past at bars and such. But same difference. But I think we're gonna move on here on that note, unless you guys have anything else to add.
I have one question.
Okay.
I have one question for you guys. Okay, what's the F word? We're not gonna say it. It's not fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's
sure.
what's cool about what I'm trying to spread. You know what I mean? What we're trying to spread. You never see that, but you see it in Dota all the time. Would you be
sure.
walking around the street saying the F word?
No, I think
And
you
you
can-
all know what F word I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we won't say it. I'm with you to not say it.
I don't. I think it's an ugly word. I think it's
I think when
meaning
I'm
and
down to
We
quote
don't need
it
the
whenever you're
full
talking.
political discussion, but yeah, I know. I know
You
what
do
you're
see
saying.
it. You see it in Dota.
There's just
a fuck of a
I
lot.
think you see the F word a fuck of a lot.
well, it's
in
usually
Dota
from
too.
really salty, like angry people too. It's never in a good. And I think words
They get
carry
their-
meaning, and the only reason people use that word is because it has a certain impact
I think
of
it's
shock
because
and awe.
I
They'd
think
get their
like-
asses kicked in real life if they went around saying shit like that,
No,
dude.
I think it has. I think it's
They
just
would.
another symptom of what is primarily an immature scene. Like there's a state of arrested development with a good chunk of the Dota 2 community, and I'm not going to say that it's the majority.
I'm not going to say
but
it's any
it's-
culture either, as much as it is just a
Well,
general.
we're viewing
immaturity.
American culture. We're viewing American culture.
But even still, like you'll get people that are equally immature queuing from Mexico or wherever.
oh sure,
But then you'll get fine people as well from those places. So it just goes to show,
yeah. Anyway, I mean we don't.
You
need
just
to delve
gotta
into that
mute
too
and
much.
move on would be my hashtag.
Oh, I
'Cause,
do
like,
it all the time.
The second someone steps over that line, like it's up to you to manage your communication. But that's all I'm gonna say. So that's what you guys. Have been
Okay,
up
sorry to
Like-
derail you.
No, you're not derailing me.
I was just saying you wanted to get to
This is a very lax episode. Me and Blue have gotten more rigorous in our design, but like having you guys on, I kind of harken back to a year ago when we started .p, and it's just fun to like talk about the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sure.
that's what this will be, guys. If you don't like it, then you can. We'll include a version where we
But we
just
do have
cut Roland's dialogue out entirely.
It would be funny. Or to just have me talk with you guys for an hour, but only record my channel,
But have
and then
Hutch-
have you guys fill in with ridiculous things. It'd be a lot of me being a cackling hyena, and you guys making
A fair amount, yeah.
Fun of that.
Well,
Anyway,
We can move along.
we can
Let's
keep
do.
chugging.
Let's do. What did you want to get into?
we are going to talk about the heroes' win rates through different MMR brackets. We're going to be talking about the highest, most winningest heroes of 1 to 2K, or I guess 2K and below, and then we'll be talking about 2 to 3K, 3 to 4K, and 5K plus.
I've got to stop you for a second. I'm sorry. This will be my last time, but
Yeah,
I know you're getting frustrated. I know you're getting frustrated.
It's just
But both of you motherfuckers didn't believe me that winningest was a real word, okay? I got fucking fact-checked from both Cyphus and Wazoo hardcore saying, nope, that's not a word.
It sounds stupid.
And you
is
just
why.
used it. You just used it. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I've been rolling the derailer lately,
Roland
dude.
Oh, yeah.
found
Oh,
an OED in the library, and he was like, "Hey," and flipped to winningest.
And it's, by the way,
that's
it's like the
word
one
he's ever
time
known.
that it's
Yeah,
the one time in our history of fact checking him where he turned out to be correct.
Oh, but you guys were so vehement. You were like, that is fucking bullshit. I'll bet my firstborn that's
Okay,
not a word.
Well,
No,
winningest
I don't
is a
think
word.
that's-
Thanks. We could just put a
Yeah.
footnote there. And we'll be looking at Necro first because he is the most winning hero at 12.18%, below 2K. So,
12.18 on the pick percent though.
yep, but 60%, 60.45 on
Yeah.
the win.
Is that Necrophos?
Yeah, which
Makes sense.
it makes sense because that's when you're still kind of fleshing out movement, and he seems to punish that. He can grab you once you stepped over that line that you shouldn't and hold you, or he can grab you when you're running and knock you out for a long time.
And I disagree. I think
Two
the
reasons.
sub 2K. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
I'm
let
gonna
you
start.
go.
We'll start with Roland. Yeah, why not?
I played a
He's
ton of
only been
Necro.
talking a shitload.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't said anything in a minute. Let's figure out what you
Fuck
think.
you
the
guys.
two
You
Do you have
Go
any word of the day calendars I
Oh
can
my
buy from you?
god, dude.
Go ahead.
All right, start us off. What do you think?
Let me cackle. So first reason, Necrophos. Sorry, I was like, I got derailed myself. The first reason Necrophos kicks ass is because at the 2K level, we can understand concepts, and we can understand the concept of low health, do this. We see it in Legion Commander. They're low health, duel. They're low health, Reaper Scythe. But
Only give 1 point because we don't want to consume all the points because they're
No, that's fine. That's definitely not one of my points. And I semi disagree with it. I don't think that's the biggest
okay,
reason.
and then second,
I know the biggest reason, but we'll see.
he is extremely sustainable. That's another thing. With Sadist and with Q, he can stay in lane for fucking ever. And with our
Pulse?
Death Pulse and
So-
Sadist gives him crazy HP and mana regen. When you get a last hit, which hopefully you're doing, you get regen. When you kill a hero, you get 10 times that amount of regen. So that's why I wait for low hero, go low health, kill him, then I get high health, go jungle. Like, that is the Necro idea, and I think that's why it works in 2K.
Cool. And what about you, Cyphus? What do you think?
I think one of the biggest things that works in his favor is that one, he's being run as a carry, and that Heartstopper aura at
Not
the
a carry.
sub 2K
Utility.
level,
Utility carry at best.
he's being run as a carry.
He should be run
Utility
as a carry,
carry.
but
He is-
I see him often ran as a support in the lower brackets.
Put him up against Medusa. Put him
I've
up
been
against...
seeing
Let him finish. Let him
I've
finish.
been
This
seeing
isn't
him.
Crossfire.
I've played with several Necrophos
CNN.
along the way. I've been playing a lot of solo queue in this patch, and it's treated me pretty well. So the Heartstopper aura at our level, people are bad about regeneration in lane. Like there's not an appreciation for properly carrying and properly utilizing the regen that you have available, and you see it across the board. Like
People die all the time.
People die. Yeah, they die way too much. And when they're taking sustained damage over time and not paying attention to their regen or not properly utilizing regen, that ends up hurting them in the long run.
That harkens back to Spectre and Dispersion. is what that arc is.
Yeah.
Sure, and we'll
Sure.
talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll have Spectre at least as an
See, and I
honorable
think we ought to
mention.
toss out just like a handful, like the top 5, because there I think you're going to see commonality in
We'll do that.
each skill.
It'll be more or less the same once we just get through this, because we'll be talking about
Yeah.
several sections as the same one.
Yeah, sure.
It's more or less.
Sure.
But I kind of wanted to mention that regen is really good in this game for that reason. And so Death Pulse, being able to just press a button and get health back
Yeah.
is pretty huge. And that, I think, would be the biggest factor. And he's one of those heroes that kind of like Bristle, that if you get him in a good position and you don't feed too much and you like can last hit moderately well and get a few good ults, you can be in the game as just this unstoppable force that is constantly sustainable and just whittling everything else down.
If you really think about Necrophos,
Good at chasing, too.
him and Bristleback, that brings music to my ears. Him and Bristleback are almost the same hero.
Yeah.
You want to
In
run
different
after
ways,
him,
he's like magic back.
and when you kill things, you get a bonus, okay? Or your stacks get a bonus, right? The more things you're killing along the way with Death Pulse, the more stacks you're getting, the more regen, the more mana to run after a bitch on Necro with Heartstopper, with your point,
Right. Yeah.
and take him down quick. So
Don't you mean Buffalo?
It's easy to do.
You said bitch, but I think you meant Buffalo.
I meant maybe Buffalo. And under 2K, we also understand heals you, hurts you ideas.
Sure.
Which we know we want to spam it because it hurts them and it heals us, but it hurts them too. You know, so that's why we use it a lot. That's what I would argue for Necrophos.
I like it.
Everybody
had
brought up great
one
points.
argument, but
Yeah. No, I think.
does anyone else have anything?
No,
to
I
add?
think it's all covered.
Yeah,
I honestly do.
Yeah, I think
that's a pretty good factor because he's one of those heroes that's also solo sustainable.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of like, he doesn't need to rely on anybody else in those lower brackets where maybe you're not making as good a game plans or drafting as well, but he can sustain himself and his team if you're just around him.
And
So
get a
therefore
Treads
he's
mech.
yeah.
Treads mech, and like
There you
literally
go.
you can end the game and you can be a Treads mech Necrophos. Like
Yep.
you can do it.
That brings us to our second, and that's the starting at the 2 to 3K, but he goes all the way through.
In second place? He stays second place?
No, he goes all the way through 5K.
Okay.
Omni does through 2 to 5K.
So I feel like there may be some inflation there. I guess we'll just start with
the
me.
pick-
Well,
Okay.
Omni's not second at the sub 2K though.
Yeah, not at
What is he?
2K.
We'll get to that.
Fourth.
Okay.
I mean, but his win rate's
What is second?
insane.
We're
What's-
gonna do some honorable mentions at the ends of those that we see trailing, but always in their kind of position of 2 to 3 after we cover the discussion of the number breakdown.
Okay.
So pretty much from 2 through 5K, Omni Knight is king. I mean, we've seen talk about it on Reddit. I mean, he has a very high win rate.
Well, and it should be noted the highest like win rate
Is 61%.
Well, no, I mean he is the highest win rate from I think from 3K plus. So 3K to 4K, he's number 1. 4K to 5K, he's number 1.
There's
5K plus, he's number 1.
Can I
Is
make
he in
a,
5K? I don't think that's.
Can we make a point on Omni Knight? And let's just start
No,
with
it's
this thing.
Chen. Chen is number 1.
Oh, that's right, Chen.
Yeah.
Can we make some points on Omni Knight? Because it's
Sure.
obvious. Like,
Yeah.
it bugs me so bad. It's so obvious.
We're talking.
Oh no, he edges Chen out by just a narrow margin.
Okay.
Anyway,
Wi-
at 58.32, we might have different instances pulled up. I mean, this is constantly changing, and they're pretty close. So
Yeah.
it's notable that they're both up there.
Here, I feel like this is the biggest reason. One of the biggest reason Omni Knight is at the highest win rate is in what he is because how often do you have people on your team that are going to buy a diffusal? I would say 25% of the time, right?
In the lower part, sure, but I think
Maybe even 20%.
3K plus, you see more people buy defuse.
But we're talking about sub 2K and why he's
Yeah.
second. You never see it. No one ever fucking buys it. And that is the kryptonite to Omni, is Diffusal Blade. Denny, I saw you pull off some awesome shit on that anti-mage with your Diffusal Blade on Venge. When you were like, I'm going to go 4-staff, I'm like, no, go Diffusal Blade.
Yeah.
That's how you beat this motherfucker. And it's just like PA theory. Like, no one ever builds an MKB. Come on, it's kryptonite to PA. Build an MKB. Diffusal Blade is his fucking kryptonite. And Diffusal Blade got buffed.
Yeah.
There's no cooldown on it. I can rip all of your shit off.
Yeah, and
Fuck
I did
you.
that. Well,
You
I
did
was
like
able-
4 charges or something like that.
I burned 4 charges,
and we
in a
killed
fight.
them all.
Yeah.
And we killed them all. Holy shit! How does that work? And
because most people will just like blindly go and just bash on the shields, even when he pops his ult.
remember that Omni Knight that carried us, Andrew? That nobody ever bought a Diffusal Blade. He was running around repelled the entire time, had crazy regen, had crazy damage, had a Divine Rapier, and was in no threat of dying to anyone.
ever at any point.
But you buy a diffusal blade, the fucking shield goes away, bro.
He had a Yasha that he built into a Sanjin Yasha, so he was running with travel. So he
with
just,
Yules. Remember he bought Yules?
Yeah, with Yules, and he was just a race car
520 or 513.
running around the map, heal bombing. When you turn to fight him, he would repel and like TP out or something.
And if he needed to, he'd use his ult.
Yeah.
And if he needed to, he'd use his ult.
And just run away.
And he carried us,
It's
dude.
like, oh man, he just ran for the hills.
It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I was like, oh god, we've got an Omni that went passive level 1. Like immediate passive, right? And you're just like, here we go. All right.
whatever works.
Level 2, level 3
So
purification.
I think we can break
But that's
it down.
not what's happening at the pro.
Exactly.
At the higher levels.
No, because it's people buy diffusal blades. What
That's
the
for
fuck?
2 to 3K. I think that's the reason he wins a lot of games is people don't buy the item they need. But I think you can make that same point as you said with people like PA or any other amount of itemization choices that might be a little more complicated for the hero.
But-
like not getting a Battle Fury on a jug against a PL or something like that. You know, like making those item choices that can really help.
Well, it's that rigidity that
Yeah.
you guys discussed last week.
We discussed that last week. I think there's a different case for 3 to 4K though. I really do.
Yeah, people. So I feel like because
I
I
think
play
it's the
with
built-in BKB. I think
Yeah.
repel more
I
than
think
anything.
that's a big point of it from 3 to 4K. And let's
Yeah.
just do different points because I think 4 to 5K is even going to be a different story.
I think you'll find that at the
what about
above,
starts to become
what about
engagement.
Lifestealer? Lifestealer literally has built-in BKB.
yeah, absolutely.
literally.
But you
He
see
can only-
Lifestealer rise at the higher levels.
Can only
Do
put
you?
it, can only put it on
Okay.
himself though. And the thing is this
Oh yeah, it's self versus anybody. You're absolutely
targetable.
right. Targetable.
So it makes it that much better of a spell. And if you see it fly out in battle and people use it well, you can really like stop your carry from even taking a lot of that early initiation damage, and then you just turn it on them.
We should be drinking like fine coffee right now. That's the discussion I feel like, and a nice cigar or something like that.
No,
like
actually, Lifestealer stays below 50% at all skill levels.
But Wazoo made a great point: is that
with
Lifestealer has to put it on himself.
Do you remember when he was really good last patch or something briefly, or people were really nervous that he could put himself in like a rock golem and just run up on you and hit you?
No,
and
there was
stuff?
just it hit Reddit once where like
He was a
look how
dragon.
funny it is that
A black
Loda's
dragon.
a black dragon in
Yeah.
mid lane. And Loda's playing the Black Dragon before 6.86, so it didn't have that like Jakiro macro pyre look. Basically, they can throw down like patches of Jakiro's macro pyre, is what the dragons can do now.
Yeah. He's still an interesting hero, but
it
you
was
see a
cool.
lot of cheesy shit at our level with Lifestealer because
Yeah.
people like put him in a Spirit Breaker and then
Okay, I
all
gotta.
that.
Hey, the Spirit Breaker thing works.
I'm gonna say
yeah, sure.
hearken again, and we gotta hearken back to that article when he said
Hearken,
L is
jeez.
for jungle, Lifestealer, Lycan, Legion Commander. Like those are the three
Some would argue with
biggest
you,
plays.
the Legion is not meant for the jungle, and I would agree
Oh,
with them.
but that's why he says L is for jungle. Like, as in, that's where it doesn't stand for J jungle. It stands for fucking L, because that's the majority of heroes that are going to the fucking jungle, dude. And it is like Legion Commander has no point. Anyway,
Okay,
tangent.
we're back to Omni though, and
Yeah.
I think like he really wins in that 3 to 4K level because of repel for a good instance, and
Yeah,
being
with
able to actually utilize his abilities, starting to a little bit, and just blocking damage is really good.
Well, let's face
I
it. Yeah,
think-
healers are good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, healers.
I think
when you look
3
at
to
that
4K
list,
though, I think 3 to 4K people are still kind of confused how to engage properly in a fight and stuff like that. Like they'll still take bad fights and stuff. And when you do that with a good Omni and you go and you initiate and he throws his shit, you've just blown all your shit and you're against a team that hasn't taken any damage.
I have a point
You know?
for the 4 and 5K. 4K.
Well, we're moving on for a sec.
What about
in a sec.
Aghanims?
Do you have
Aghanims
anything
isn't
to
gonna
add
get
to 3 to
addressed?
4K?
no, I think you're right. But again, like my argument. Would
I think
be,
it comes down to engagement.
I think
lot.
I think it's applicable.
Getting ahead. He's a strong laner too, in a way. If he's there in lane,
He's an
but
extremely
He's just
strong
like,
laner.
where do you lane him? He kind of belongs in the off lane. He kind of is a safe lane carrier.
No, you just.
Or, I mean, safe lane
lane
support.
him. You lane him with a. You lane him with a carry.
But it's
he's
like-
good. He's good for the same reason Dazzle's good. He's good for the same reason. He's good for the same reason Warlock is good. And
Although
Warlock
Dazzle
is in the top 10
arguably
at
adds
nearly every
more.
level.
No.
Warlock?
Dazzle does
No.
heal more on average, but Omni Knight brings
With
a
the
lot
armor
more to the table.
in an armor meta where you're seeing teams roll over other teams with like high armor heroes. I just saw a game with you guys had like a Razor and he was just you couldn't kill him. And who else was in like what other enemy
The
heroes?
real guy that was kicking our ass was OD, but that's just because
Yeah.
he was just
He
we
was the
couldn't
classic
even
OD
get
is
on him.
strong this
He
patch.
took all my mana away. I needed it. I was bristleback. Like,
But
and
I
we had
guess
no
like
carry.
what I'm trying to say is engagements, and when you like go to engage and you're sure on an Omni and you might not see him, and sure Ags might be a factor because it's global and therefore you don't need to be anywhere. You can just they can engage on you and bump. You can disengage or you can fight it. You know, and to have that reset button is huge. I think.
Yeah,
for
sure.
3 or 4K.
I mean, yeah, but I think I think you'll find that that's the reason at every level above 3K.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything special about. I think that's probably the turning point from where you, because Omni's also winning a lot at the sub 3K level because there are people who are playing Omni that way. They're utilizing his skills at least to the best of their ability, which, as you said, like, I mean, it's hard to fuck up the reset on an Omni ult. You can do it, but
it's
like
more
if you
of
play
a
him enough,
spectrum
you'll get to a point where you
than
can.
just a graph we're trying to explain here. Is what you're trying to say. It's
I
more of a
think,
lot of mitigating factors.
I think after the 3K mark, like the biggest difference between above and below is that you don't see the cheesy Omni carry builds.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, yeah.
But
or
what
at least
about
they're fewer and
we're going to move on to 4K to 5K because he still sits at the top, and now we're looking at with new numbers that I will correct myself here. He is currently the high, barely by 0.4%, higher than Chen. So Omni Knight is picked 5K plus. He has the highest win rate.
And that's not carry Omni.
On 11%.
Yeah, that's not no.
So here's my explanation for that.
Okay, look, we're talking 4 to 5K now.
I know,
so
I'm
do you have
talking
anything
4 to
to add?
5K.
Because I'm actually
Yes, I have
gonna
a
try
ton to
expand
add.
more on this. Okay,
I have a ton to add.
Go ahead on the 4K.
At 4 to 5K, average last hits just go up on everybody. Okay, everybody at 4 to 5K is last hitting better than any MMR under that. Okay, they are. They've got their mechanics down, and they're only improving them with every game they play. So you can have a support Omni that grabs heal bombs when his carry leaves and mows a creep wave down. Gets all the last hits when his carry leaves. Make sure you can do that to get an Aghanim Scepter. Look at what an Aghanim Scepter can do.
I want to stop
at
you
that
right
level.
there. If people are buying this item more, Diffusal, that just rips them apart, then why are we seeing such a near 60% win rate? When there's an item in the game that's easy to use, 0 cooldown.
Because it's everywhere. It's global. Because that way you can save your buddy bottom even though you're in Fountain.
And even though one of them doesn't. Yeah.
Because you can do it globally. When people are working that closely in tandem, hey dude, I need your ult. I'm bottom. I'm going to die. I'm TPing out. Hit it and I'll TP out.
And those supports are watching. I mean, you know, like, I'll bring this example up. Like when Roland and I are running
execution.
Roland and I are running support combos with you of late, like, I'm starting to notice that we're paying more attention to the overall map, and I don't like this is not a like comment on your play or anything. You don't pay attention or as much attention to the rest of the map because
you're watching
in
creep
farm. Yeah, you're
that's
farm
what
efficiency.
That's what any carry does.
That's what we want you fucking doing.
It's hard to look at the main.
Hard to do it. Hard to do it, boys, when you're gank squad and losing to mid.
And I think to
losing
Roland's
2 kills to mid.
I think to Roland's point, that Ag's ult is pretty game changing.
It's the biggest ult in
when
the
you
game.
have somebody who's really paying attention to the rest of the map.
It's BKB for your entire team, and they can still use BKB after if they want. It's hey, I don't care where you are.
It's not BKB, but it is.
It's spell damage. Or no, it's physical damage.
It's physical damage.
Excuse me. Invulnerability except to spells. Sorry.
Yeah.
You put your BKB on, nothing can touch you. You hit your BKB during that, nothing can touch you.
Yeah,
you are literally invulnerable for an amount of time. That and with that level of coordination, you're gonna never lose. Not lose as often. You're gonna have a 60%
You're going
win
to
rate.
win to uncoordinated teams.
And it's really easy to coordinate that. Like, hey guys, I have Ags. Let me know if you're in a situation where you need to avoid physical damage. And it's like, I need it. Bing, you've got it. You're alive.
No, I'm with you. I think the reasons for I think the reasons for Omni being that high of a win rate, even above 3, like I think you could lump 3K plus, like.
And yet you don't see that transition to
execution.
pro play or anything. You don't see Omni being picked or banned.
I saw a couple of Omnis.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
He's strong. I mean, he's not.
Well, because
how often do you see Dazzle?
And I can still repel people. Like, it's not that's the
point
only
still
thing I'm
stands.
good for.
Well, how often do you see Dazzle get banned?
A lot.
You know,
Dazzle's a top tier hero, and he should be banned often because he does
good,
the most
man.
healing.
Well, I mean,
he's amazing,
and I think that's going to explain some of it in that you probably have. Well, I don't know. I would be curious to see the breakdown.
I'm just
statistics
surprised
of,
not to see
like,
that
captain's
in
mode versus
ranked
all pick.
Competitive MMR. You don't see that same trend, but Dazzle's such a coveted hero and has been for years now, right?
In pro meta.
Pro meta. I mean, he's just that. He is that defensive support.
Dude, Shadow
he holds the role still.
Shadow Word.
Wyvern was kind of going to disrupt him a little bit, but then Winter's Curse was nerfed into the ground, and now Dazzle's back on top.
Yeah, Dazzle.
I feel.
As far as the heal heroes, probably.
As a heal defensive support.
But in pubs, I don't know. And
say.
again, like I maybe the lack of communication and the lack of coordination at all levels of Dota play kind of explains Omni's ability at the higher tiers.
Because Omni has a really low and really high skill cap. I can jump on Omni Knight and I can do okay by healing you and repelling you at the right time, or I can be extraordinary and do.
I'll argue that in pubs,
even better things.
You see a lot of dazzles who probably do things subconsciously, like shallow grave your buddy over somebody else. Like
Yeah.
Dazzle takes some execution for sure,
He
but
takes
it's not
communication and execution and an understanding of the game, because you don't know how much damage things are gonna do at lower levels sometimes. You're just kind of like waiting for the dust to clear.
Yeah.
But at higher levels, you probably know, so the graves are way better. Some of your
I don't know.
graves that you
Dazzle,
pull off,
I feel like I
Dazzle
know
feels
when you're
harder
gonna-
to execute
yeah,
than Omni.
Omni
for
Knight's
sure.
a more individualistic hero. I like him because you like really get up in people's faces, kind of like Ogre. It reminds me of hockey, and me and Roland played hockey in high school.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I love Omni so much, because you just get up in the face, right-click somebody, keep hitting them, keep healing yourself when you go low, repel and run away. And that's really good when people are trying to engage. So
And they're
I
like-
think
yeah,
after the 3 to 4K level, the 4 to 5K level, people have mastered the mechanics of the hero. They know when to heal, they know when to be there, they know where to lane him. They only pick him when they need to. I mean, he's still at a 10% pick rate, just underneath.
Here's an interesting statistic at the 5K plus level for Dazzle. 19.54% pick rate. So nearly 1 in 5 games has a Dazzle.
Nice.
And a 49.8 win rate.
Yeah.
So
I mean, pretty
that's
balanced.
the only area where he drops below
So he's
50.
almost exactly 50.
You know who I'd like to point out?
A lot of games being played on him, though.
Yeah.
Invoker, dude. He has such a high pick rate.
Do we have to?
No.
I
We
don't
don't
want
have
to
to
talk
mention.
about
We don't have to
Invoker.
mention.
Can we skip
But
Invoker?
it's just so high. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
It is ridiculous.
I just have
I'd
nothing-
be all right to talk the numbers.
I have
real quick.
nothing to say about
It's
that
just an
here.
anomaly, is all.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Oh my god, dude! It is.
He
it
went
is
from
important to know.
obscure to just like way too popular.
He's
I hate him.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It's an anomaly. It's a statistical anomaly that needs to be noted, I think, if you're looking at the numbers.
It is funny
this
to see it
patch so
rise,
far.
though, to see the weird trend with him.
Because
Yeah,
he's
I
like
know.
in half of games right now, dude.
he's. It
So
feels like
fucking-
every game. I'm not.
23.45% of sub 2K games.
But that makes sense. Lack of proficiency. 30% is what it goes up to in 2 to 3K.
Of course.
36% in 3 to 4K.
Now it's gonna go down.
43%
What?
in 4 to 5K, and then 49.32 in
Above
5K plus
5K.
games.
Nearly every
Super.
5K
He's
game.
super high skill cap.
If
Duh.
you've been listening to the show for a while and you know what Invoker is, you know why that graph looks like that.
If
right
you're
now.
a good Invoker and Invoker is a good
It's
hero,
like a gold rush for you
then
right
you're
now.
Yeah, it is California Gold Rush for all those Invoker
For
players
MMR
that stuck it
MMR
out.
points.
They were like,
His win rate rises with that pick rate.
I
too.
know it does because I mean, do what you will to Alacrity. Like they gave Alacrity a slap on the hand, dude. They were like, "You're a little too strong, -2, and you get a free Fairy Fire."
That
Like,
thing's still
it's
good
like-
as fuck.
I know it's still fucking awesome. I'll still do WE builds where like the Wexort.
I played one game of Invoker and I was like, no, thank you.
I love him. I think he's really fun. I'll never be. Maybe one day if like Dota stays alive forever and I'm still playing it all the time.
Your ADD with heroes. The problem is you would never have the love affair that was required for Invoker.
I have
think.
I have like 45 games on Invoker.
You got. I think you'd have
Yeah.
to really commit though. Like I mean, I think you'd have to commit more than the.
But I
the-
do like Quas
45.
Exort, Quas Wex, Wexort. Like I can't make my mind up on like I'm gonna do this build over and over where I Yule, Sunstrike, throw a Chaos Meter, Force Blast, fucking Force Staff myself, Alacrity, right click. Like I'm never gonna be that guy, dude. Like
you don't want to be a mad magician.
You don't
No.
want to be a Dragon Ball Z badass?
I'm not good at. I don't think I will ever be good enough. And I do have hero ADD. I couldn't stick and play Invoker like 50 times in a row. That boggles my mind.
That's
dude.
not for me, man. I want pointy, clicky, killy.
Yeah, the easy heroes, like I was saying, are
you
easier.
got offended
I was,
earlier.
you should play Viper, the easier heroes, dude. Like you'll do a lot
That's a lot
better.
of
Of kills is really easy.
Dude,
to play.
you'll get
can have
so many
MMR,
last
It
hits.
doesn't mean shit. Like if you have higher MMR than someone, you have little ankle biters to still telling you how to play their fucking 2K strategies.
That's
Let's
alright.
okay. Let's move on past Invoker. We know why. People,
Yeah.
we know why. Fuck Invoker.
but we
Let's
don't
move
know
on.
why.
Better execution.
What-
he has
what
a
is
super
there-
high
No,
skill
what
cap.
is there to
absolutely.
move
I
on?
don't know what to say.
What
He's
is
a
there to
strong
move on
hero.
to? I was going to talk about Chen, but it got knocked down in the
Oh.
last second.
Oh no, I'm down to talk about Chen.
We're kind of running short in the tooth here, boys and girls. But what I need to tell you is we still got to cover the rest of the show, or my dick producer will have a real problem with it. It's Roland.
I'm down to talk about Chen. Hey,
Yeah.
I think Chen's an easy one.
We're
though.
gonna do honorable mentions.
Okay.
Let's talk about. And I don't want to hear no from you again, Roland, or I'm going to kick your ass right out of here. Let's talk about Spectre.
All right.
Because you've been playing some Spectre, Roland. And
What's the win rate in below 2K?
Because
that's what I'd say.
60%.
60%.
It
60.19.
sticks at 60 until it drops off sharply to 56. Not very sharply, of course. 4 to 5K, and then it drops off to 54.
Can
at
I give
5K
my
plus.
explanation? I'm sorry. I think I have a really good one.
This isn't like a Misery with
Okay.
fucking Stephen King, dude.
So
Say
60%
what you
win
wanna
rate
say.
means he is winning more often than he is losing. Okay?
Right.
How many games do you think are drawn out longer than they should be in below 2K MMR?
Many.
Would you say 60% of the games?
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
Any
maybe
game
higher.
that's fucking drawn out with Spectre, Spectre wins. So that's the reason he wins. Even if you have the shittiest start, you've died 15 times, you fucking idiot Spectre. That game goes long enough, you all lose. Sorry.
Kind of how Alki used to be, but I feel like he's been nerfed a little in a way or something.
Like-
Yeah, I don't feel that way with Alki.
No.
I could read you my statistics with Alchemist, and you would understand why. Like,
Alchemist
I have
is
the feeling.
garbage. Yeah. he's
But no,
garbage.
Spectre, that's a good point, because by the time he's 6 slotted, no other carry really can match
You can't
him
stand
in a
up to
way.
him, especially with Dispersion, dude.
it's very good.
Unless you have a BKB, because it does not break spell immunity, Dispersion. Unless you have a BKB.
So this is you explaining the why would you would see the higher 60% number? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the why you would see the drop off towards the later 5K?
Oh, just people being more comfortable with playing against a Spectre. I mean, knowing what you need to do, knowing things
Which is
like
what,
don't-
an anti-mage
What?
or something?
A BKB. When you're fighting
a
him,
BKB,
you're taking 22%.
not being alone, not
yeah.
running a jungler versus, or if you see a jungler, if you have a jungler versus a Spectre pick, you got to be a little bit more careful. You got to be more aware of. when
That's
he
the
hits level
silent
6.
killer of games right there in this meta is the fucking jungler, man. Like, as far as I'm seeing, that Iron Talon makes so many people just be
It's
like
retarded.
jungle, and you're like, okay.
I
It's
can't
like,
wait
you
till
could
it
go
gets
off
nerfed.
lane and get way more even in a dual lane, but like, do what you're gonna do, and we'll lose again.
Make it work on Ancients and let it do 10%. Let it work on Ancients.
No.
Let it work on Ancients and let it do 10% of total health.
I don't like that.
No, it will. They can't stand up to.
The ancients
It has
are that
such
way,
a long cooldown.
The ancients that way are supposed to be like a treasure chest for a strong
Let it
hero
work on
who can
Ancients
clear them.
for a minimal
that's
amount.
that's their drawback. It's a treasure chest for heroes who can kill them.
Dude, 80 damage to a hero that regens, like the Golem. If I were to use it on the big Golem, it would do like, say he has 1800 health. I do 180 damage. He's sitting at 1620 health with 5 regen. And I have to wait 15 seconds before I can do it again.
Okay, well then
That's
that just
one
sounds
way
so
to-
negligible that there's no point to
Yeah,
have it anyway.
there shouldn't be. It's ruined the fucking game. In my opinion, I fucking
No.
hate that item. I
Iron
think
Talon?
it's so lame, dude. And it's
I
just,
like that Quell's being built into
it's them
different
giving us
stuff.
guidance.
Yeah.
I don't want guidance.
I wish it cut trees too.
Yeah, it does cut trees.
Does it?
Yeah,
Awesome.
but it has a separate cooldown. If you cut tree,
I haven't jungled it
it
all
has
this
a
patch.
4-second cooldown. If you
Yeah.
kill a dude, you have to wait 14 seconds in order to cut a tree. It's not the most efficient
I
item.
don't know what they're trying to do, guys.
It's
I
the
don't know.
lamest
I'm
of the
alright
new
with it.
items.
I don't care about
lamest
that
of the new. Is it the lamest of the new items?
Uh,
Or Dragonlance?
no.
It's that and Dragonlance. Which one?
Dragonlance for me, especially after just watching all the casters talk about it. It's like, oh yeah, why the fuck? Like,
But it builds into Butterfly and BKB, and it's disassemblable. That's what people
okay.
forget about it.
Cool.
It's disassemblable.
All right.
So you can use it for power
okay.
curves.
Okay. We didn't want to talk about
But
the
what
items.
power curve if vision is your limiter? Like that's what they're.
No,
you know what
well,
I mean? Like you're not.
That's
It's
why
actually
you
not.
grab it on TA. You grab it on short range. You grab it on Huskar. You grab it on people
Sure.
who they have short range, where you give them a little more range, they can do a lot more with it. 200 range is a ridiculous amount. You're not supposed to eat on a podcast, Wazoo. You're really not supposed to. That's
Yeah,
like a
people
cardinal
get all
sin.
upset, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like.
I mean, if Joe Schmo were listening to this, he'd be turning it off right now.
I didn't eat anything, man.
give Joe Schmo a big crunch.
They're cashews, dude. They're smooth as can be.
They are the best nut.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I get why you say that about Dragon Talon, but Dragon Lance is. or Iron Talon, but Dragonlance is, I think, the lamer item. Cause
they need a nerf Iron Talon
you know why,
already.
You know why Dragonlance is so obnoxious is because I see so many more snipers at the sub 2K stuff. And it's just terrible because it doesn't do that much for him, and unless you're playing against a team that just has absolutely no idea what to do with somebody who can hit you from that far away.
You know what not Dragonlance, I did it like you did. You know what Iron Talon has allowed? This fucking disgusting item. Fucking invokers going jungle and kiting everything. And using Iron Talon, and then to kiting, and Iron Talon, and kiting.
Disgusting.
It's so... And he's like, I'm going to show 15 minutes of me jungling. By 15 minutes, he has Phase Boots, and he has Yule Scepter. And, that's okay farm, all right? That's okay. Matter of fact, that's way too fucking good for Invoker in the jungle. He's like level 12 or 11 or something like that. Stupid, dude. Back to that stupid Invoker
Roland's
hero.
soapbox here.
Yeah,
what does Roland not like?
Sorry, guys.
Try hard to not turn off the podcast when Roland comes on the podcast Tuesdays. Is the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the best one yet, dude.
Yeah, who gets another honorable mention? I'll segue us back
I want
to
to
the
talk
discussion.
Chen because he's a high mechanics hero that you see go up. He's right around the highest win rate anyway at
At the 5K plus.
Yeah, with the 5K plus. I mean, it's obviously not that good at the lower levels because still 4 to 5K is 54%. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
but below that's all like right at 50, right?
Yeah, right at 50
or lower.
48, 47, 50, 54, and 50.
No, I mean you're right. It's high mechanics.
Just mechanics. Yeah.
But the big reason I think he's popular is because I do think in my amateur analysis and just watching some pro Dota, watching some various videos, I think that this patch really does favor that push lineup again.
And heal.
Yeah.
And he is the only hero that can burst heal that amount of heal.
That's
with
good.
ult and mech.
Yep, that goes along with the Omni Point in a way, but he can also amass a force that you can actually group with a team around like 8 minutes, and he can have just a couple large creeps, and they can start taking towers.
And
there's nothing you can
the
do.
indirect buff to him with giving the Ancients those auras.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
them buffing the Ancients was
game.
buffing Chen.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
much.
Like, it was buffing,
And
Chen and a few
Lifestealer,
other
maybe?
stragglers. And maybe Lifestealer.
Yeah.
maybe.
A few other stragglers. Less so Lifestealer than Chen, because Ags also increases your heal. How much you heal. So, even if it didn't do this convert Ancients by Ags plus level of ult, people would still buy it because it heals more. My team can be dead, and I can hit mech, ult, and all of a sudden they're at half health and we're fucking full health.
Yeah.
What happens? We win.
Yeah, well, and I think
with
the
great
push-
coordination,
I think the push
great
is
mechanics,
the
great
biggest.
coordination, great
You
push.
get that heal that he winds up being this weird combo between Dazzle and Shadow Shaman.
I want to know his average length of game because I bet it's short. I bet it's on the shorter spectrum. I bet it's below the average.
Well,
game
he's also.
I bet he ends games
He's
quick.
a palpable late game force now too with those aura nerfs, but also just God's healing or whatever that is really good too.
Well, yeah, it's ult and sending you back to Fountain, so you don't have to use a TP,
Yeah.
so you can TP right back to the battle.
Yeah.
He's like a little bit of IO too.
And
in
he
that
has a
sense.
nuke. He has a really good nuke. Test of faith. Like I can just be like, "How faithful are you, random Jesus? Help me from 1 to 400
He's
damage."
literally like a Knight of the Crusade, like priest. That's just like super super for God.
I have a pharaoh. He's a pharaoh for me. I'm a pharaoh for some reason.
I'll tell you one of the
Pharaohs.
one of the coolest combos that I got to see was Vegetable Esports Club run the Chen Spirit Breaker, and just sending that Spirit Breaker back to Fountain every time, like in the middle of every fight,
and just have him charge
right back in, dude.
That's awesome, dude.
Like they would be in a fight, that Spirit Breaker would just be up in their face, like with fucking cap on the Spirit Breaker, going ham on everybody, not giving a shit about his health, and then all of a sudden, he's back in the fucking fountain, and he's diving right back in.
And with full health.
Yeah.
Because I bet he had a bottle just to get it really quick in
And
Fountain.
then bam, he was back.
Oh, that's so kick-ass.
Yeah, I wish I would have watched those games because it seemed like everyone really took to them, and that's good.
They played good Dota.
And they were streaming their internal team dialogue,
which is
and
they're
really
famous.
fun to see.
And they're famous. And they have interesting personalities because they're famous.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purge and Cap, the most interesting personalities on that team by far.
Well, Merlini, best player. I mean, you can't be the best personality and the best
What about
fucking
Winter's
player,
team? Winter, how far did
Winter,
his team go?
Winter, I believe, stood in with Vegetable Esports Club a couple of times.
So Chen,
least
as
in
for
a
closing
scrim.
out this conversation, we looked at some trends. We can't look at them all, but for Chen, high mechanics to amass a lot of
Should we
control.
tell people how to find this or how we?
Yeah, you
collected
can
the
find
data?
all this through Dotabuff, all this information that just pulls from all the games played that they can grab. So
I think the meta. So when you click that meta tab up under the hero section, it actually looks at just this month pick and win rates.
yeah, okay. So it's just this month that we've been pulling this from,
you
but
can see that data.
we've seen the trend with the Omni going for longer than a month.
Oh
So-
yeah, no, I mean if you look at like Omni, I think
It's
even
been
just
forever.
overall-
Because Repel's been crazy forever.
Yeah, and you're right. Like that probably is the biggest difference between he and the Lifestealer, being able to put that repel on anybody.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
That's a BKB.
the Chen
at
is like
level one
he's like a
potential.
traveling pushing Omni in a way. I don't know, in ways, or Omni is just a derivative of the Chen or something. I don't know how you want to explain that. But
And with higher coordination, duh.
yeah, anyone else want to
Yeah.
add anything before we close out this conversation and move on?
I want to move
Roland?
on. I want to move on to a new
Okay,
hero.
what about you? We're not really moving on to a new hero. I mean, I guess we could do one more
Let's
as
do
an
one
honorable
more.
mention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do one more hero
I'm gonna pick.
that has really high or really.
I like
low.
it. I like it. Abaddon. Let's talk
Oh
Abaddon.
yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
He's consistent.
Yep.
He like that's the cool thing is, you know, we ran him like as a carry back in the previous patches.
Does his win
The
rate
lap.
increase with the higher
It
MMR?
does not, but it goes down, but not as sharply. It goes from 57 to less than 2K to 59.30 2K to 3K,
Okay.
58.73 from 3K to 4K, 57.55 from 4K to 5K, and 55.91 5K plus, just under the 50.
Because he's a purge himself. If you get something on you, the shield goes on. For instance, I went up against a Disruptor.
Does that
Guess-
purge you, the shield?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
put his kinetic
Orthotic
field
shield?
on my head, or whatever it's called, static storm or whatever. Oh, I put my shield on, and now if you walk near it, it hurts you, and the whole thing that cost a bunch of mana is gone instantly.
Well, and the stuns, like, so picking against a Mirana, your carry gets stunned by a Mirana arrow. Oh, here's a Aphotic Shield. Come on, let's go.
yeah,
He's not, interestingly enough, as much of a... I don't think he has high of a skill cap as, say, Omni does, because he doesn't have as much to add to the team.
I
but
don't know.
he
I
has a
disagree.
really high skill cap.
I think
you
he
need to
does.
know when, like, your borrow time's gonna pop, if it's gonna pop,
But
in
you
the
can also
middle,
when the
activate it
best-
yourself.
When
Yeah.
the best time to Aphotic Shield is, like...
saving it, not saving it, the heals
I don't know. I
to
feel like
deny.
he has less to do to be successful than Omni does, and that's what I guess I mean by that. He has to show up and get in the face of somebody and pop that shield and then take damage. You know what I mean? When people
Yeah.
are used at the lower skill levels, just attacking anything and hopefully it'll die, and then when it restarts, they still attack it, and you're just beating them in the face. You know? And
And
if you
you
get a
can
Sanjin
heal-
Yasha or like a Skull Basher or something, it's like forget about it.
Well, and that's the coolest thing is seeing him run as a carry, like
Yeah.
in the Shanghai
That's all I ever
qualifiers.
play him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I ever
Like,
play him. As
I
carry.
love seeing him played that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a ring wraith, pretty much. He
I
really
remember
is.
Purge being like, "This is a support," but a lot of changes have happened.
Oh, a ton of changes. I mean, the VEC ran him as a carry.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
It's pretty obvious.
He's one of those heroes in Dota, and some teams just have like I play a core Abaddon or I play a core Silencer with ex-VP player Illidan Stormrage. Like some people have these core heroes, or Warlock was another one he played, right? That core role that you can see played that most people would consider
Corlock?
traditionally support.
right.
I like.
I think
Warlock.
with the case
Yeah.
of Abaddon, though, I think he's one of those gray area heroes that I really love because he can fade in between that line depending upon how much farm your team needs. And so if you don't have a very greedy team and you can like grab that extra farm, you can put it to use. He's not a hero like Witch Doctor where buying some items is just pointless because, you know, it's not a good thing. You know, like you want to be getting farm on him, but you want to be getting an Ags. You don't want to be getting something that's going to like transition you into someone who could be a fighting force in the late game. And Abaddon certainly can do that. And that's why I think you see him go so
Yeah.
far, you know,
Well,
honestly.
he wins at low brackets because people attack him during borrowed time.
Yeah.
He wins at high brackets because people know that he can purge things
Yeah.
and that he can deny himself with heal. Like it's kind of an obvious.
And then
one.
he wins at the higher levels because he's now competent enough and, you know, or others have been nerfed enough
And the
that
slow.
he's capable of
The
being
slow
that
is
character
nothing to bat
and
an
better
eye at.
execution.
Yeah, he's just a good hero. I think.
Yeah.
I want to play him
He's
more.
really
see
fun.
him played more.
But it's weird that he is the hero to sit on and I'll pick to say I'm not picking anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's the international symbol for I haven't decided yet,
Yeah.
bitch.
Exactly. And he's also the international, like, nobody picks him a lot because of that. I think it, like, feels too default or something.
Yeah, it's like-
Maybe there's something
Wait,
psychological
did
there.
you accidentally click to pick Abaddon? Because I thought you were just waiting there.
Maybe we
before
should
you
play him
picked.
more. I mean, start taking these heroes that show the statistical...
Both Roland and I've played a ton of
Obscene
them.
win rates with him, too.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's like 70.
we are just about to wrap up the show here. We have been babbling for a while. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, do you have anything else to add before we move on?
No. Play some Abaddon.
Yeah.
Did me and Roland
play
get to come
ABBA?
up with the Filthy Lane
Play
combo
some
this
Spectre.
episode?
Hashtag wrecked, not rape.
Yeah.
Roland.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be your plug.
Wrecked
But,
or the
we're not
proper
going to do a
wrecked.
crazy build of the week because, you know, I don't have the guy who usually helps me do stuff like that, and that's Blue. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Blue, we
That's
miss
my
you, baby.
shout out to you.
Wind
And-
Ranger Aether Lens was a crazy build.
Yeah.
I
How
thought.
about the Tidehunter Radiance that I got the other
That's
day?
cool.
Still,
we're not going to do it.
still raging
you see
over that
crazy
one.
shit
No,
all the
it wasn't
time.
good.
It feels wrong with Blue. Like it just feels like cheating or something.
Sure.
But you guys, why don't
Hey, you know what you
give
should,
us your
you should get
yeah.
credit for?
Huh.
You guys talking the Boots of Travel Ember before it became like the fucking
Did
norm.
we?
Yeah, it was one of your like first crazy item builds
It
of the
was
week.
it was Blue's idea.
Yeah.
But
And then all of a sudden
this was when he was seeing a trend of it, and this was like 4 months ago or something.
Huh.
Before it became like standard.
before
on
it was like, yeah, now you see it.
He is the Dark Seer, dude.
So we kind of hipstered that, I guess.
Anyway,
But
yeah, well,
it
you
was
know.
being seen at higher levels anyway. You know, like what's a hipster at our levels? Just because we weren't seeing it. So it's just like, I'm sure many
No,
people
it's just,
called it.
You know, I like now I see it all the time. I assume
It was
every
on
Ember
this
I ever play
show.
with.
I had no involvement with that. I just took credit for the idea. You know, just like you do in this business. No, I'm joking.
That's right.
But guys, why don't you tell the audience where they can reach you? Give us your plugs and
At
whatnot.
@P_show.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and @P_Roland and @P_Cyphus.
The show.
You guys are individual personalities.
Yeah, we're guests
here.
on the show, and we don't have to, be that. You know,
I just think the show's a good place to go to get like relevant information on what's
I
going
like
on.
when people tweet at me. All right, it's fun.
Not this old Boo Radley curmudgeon that like sits in his shed all day, like looking out the window. Don't talk to me on Twitter.
No, I'm not.
That's not what Boo Radley sounds like. I don't want to.
He just doesn't want it anymore
I
because
don't-
everybody tweets at him enough. They're like, "Hey,
I don't reply a lot. I'm
@P_Roland,
sorry.
Please skill more than just your E on Drow."
Or the spark
I always
race.
wake up and there's
Oh my
like
God.
80 things on there, and I'm just like, oh. So
Yeah, who was it? This?
stuff.
Oh, it was Grouty who said he already told you that you were a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
For not...
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, damn,
No.
shots fired.
No, Grouty's got me and Grouty have that we can talk to each other that way. It doesn't bother me any.
Okay. Well, you can find us, me, at @P_Wazoo, and Blue, our absent host. He'll hopefully be home for Christmas or
Can
something.
I talk
after
to
this-
Blue again?
No, it's never gonna work.
Can I talk to Blue?
I'll do
again?
the. I'll do his.
Do
his
the
plugs.
outro
I'll
as
do
Blue.
His plugs.
Yeah.
I'll do his plugs.
Thank you.
And you can find me at @P_Wazoo, like I said. Check out the .P website, defenseofthepatients.com. We're getting articles going up on a regular basis. And if you have proficiency in such things, mail it in. Write something interesting if you're good with like stats or numbers or something, or we didn't talk about something, or Roland's dumb or something. We can put anything
I would
in that
definitely
space.
post an op-ed piece
Oh,
about
I
how
would.
dumb you were.
I would have to
Like
post
someone
it
in
'cause
a
I'm
turtle,
the only one that
someone
posts
in a
them.
turtleneck, someone in a turtleneck, like in profile, and that's the author's picture, like something super pretentious, so it looks like it's coming from a reputable source.
If that article comes, I swear to God, I'll put pictures on it. I'll bold things. I'll color some text on it. I will make.
Some
it
have
beautiful.
even called him a Boo Radley motherfucker. Like, underneath a photo of you.
Whatever that means.
All right, give Blue's stuff.
Okay. I'm not very good at these, but I just want to say you can reach me at Mr. Blue 22 on Twitter. I really wanted to get a car tonight. Couldn't get it. Couldn't quite find my car. But you can reach us at .P's YouTube as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was a good job, Blue.
You're getting better and better and better, Blue. You're getting better and better and better.
That's .PTV1 for the YouTube, by the way.
Just gotta punch him. Okay.
You just gotta punch him.
All right. Love you, buddy. Sorry you can make it. Good
No,
luck,
I do.
everybody.
I love you too,
Thanks for
Blue.
tuning in to Tryhard Tuesdays, where we learn to try a little harder. We will see you next week, guys.
I miss your old sign off, by the way.
Yeah, stay hard and stay classy, dude.
That's my favorite of your sign offs.
we're making some changes. I'm getting older. I'm looking at how I influence the youth, but stay really hard and classy, everybody.